More on the California earthquakes. The latest is that there is a bee dying. Now, why are the bees dying in Death Valley after this major 7.1 magnitude earthquake? And in one day, we've already had 1,406 earthquakes in that area. Cat Hops of Express UK reports the major 7.1 magnitude earthquake that hit California Friday is believed to have somehow killed thousands of bees, an unmeasurable number, after disturbing footage emerged of swarms of insects lying dead on the earth. So why is this happening? What has been going on? The unexpected mass casualties of the 7.1 magnitude earthquake have been revealed as the bees, according to one social media influencer who discovered all this. The dying bees, the dead bees. Experts believe the huge quake somehow disrupted the Earth's magnetic fields. Can you imagine? Which the bees rely on for navigation, leading to mass confusion, effective paralysis, and even their death. YouTube sensation Khalil Underwood, this is the picture that he had, uploaded footage of thousands of dead bees lying in his driveway outside of his home in California after the major 7.1 quake. Friday's night mammoth terror rocked the Mojave Desert, as we know, near Ridgecrest, where we've been having the swarms, and it's south of Death Valley National Park, and it caused widespread fires, gas line ruptures. We've had water lines burst, cut. They have a problem with their power and their water. Highways have collapsed. In other words, they have had some kind of a vacuum. The earth underneath has collapsed, and the highways have collapsed and cracked. It's terrible. Now, following, thank goodness we didn't have any victims. Nobody has lost their lives because of this, because I guess they were already prepared from the July 4th 6.4 magnitude earthquake. This followed the 6.4, the same region, 34 hours later, the 7.1. No casualties reported, but now this bizarre event, it appears that the earthquake somehow triggered the death of a huge number of bees in the area. Khalil captured a snapshot, what's believed to be a wider problem of the insects, the bees. A few live only, a few live ones twitching or madly circling around, buzzing before they also gave up their little bee souls. Now, freaking out, Khalil told his Twitter followers, "This is crazy, I've never witnessed anything like this. Look how many bees are on the floor from the earthquake." Now, he initially wrote that there was like 70 on the ground, buzzing and dying, but later updated the number to thousands in a post the next day. And later he justified the number. He says, "I was not exaggerating or joking last night. After the major 7.1 earthquake," is what he meant. "After the earthquake, thousands of bees were vibrating on the floor and dying. And this is so shit crazy to me." Now, many people did answer him in a Twitter thread, exclaiming shock at what had happened. Lots of theories about how this can happen, what is actually taking place with the insects. Some have suggested that the quake had somehow changed and distorted the magnetic field that the bees' brains were reliant on, and that's what confused them and led to their little deaths. Now, others suggest they had evacuated their hives in the panic, but were prevented from returning after the aftershocks. Now, did the earthquake cause the bees to die? The honest answer is that scientists do not really know for sure. I guess they have to answer this, though, because it's a real problem. There's already a decline in the bee colonies all over the United States. You can't have this going on now. There have been plenty of accounts of animals and insects acting strangely before an earthquake. We know that we've had that with locusts. We had that with snakes and reptiles. Many a time, days before the earthquakes, 2 or 3 days, the snakes, I know this happens in Europe, in the Mediterranean, they have come out from their hiding, from their nests, their underground nests, and crawl up the houses, even up to the roofs, because they know that an earthquake is coming and they want to save their little snake souls. So this is, they do have this ability. Perhaps it's the magnetic fields, perhaps it's the vibration. They can feel the vibration, the tremors, and perhaps it's the gases, the volcanic gases. We know that the earthquakes give carbon dioxide off, carbon monoxide, and other gases, I guess sulfur dioxide, and they can feel it, they can sense all these things. Now, we don't know, maybe it's the magnetic field that has done this to the bees, maybe it's the emissions, we have no idea. The gas emissions from the earthquakes, we have no idea. Now, one Taiwan study found 2 major earthquakes in 1999 and in 2002 had a catastrophic event on insect communities, resulting in large declines in the total number, but also total species of insects. The major earthquakes, 1999 and 2002. So they have tied that to their insect species dying off because of earthquakes. Insects living underground or in underwater sediments were most affected, according to the 3-year study examining the 7.3 magnitude and the 6.8 magnitude quakes. So as you can see, they're just about the 7.1 that we had in Ridgecrest. The United States Geological Survey previously said it is possible a seismic escape response may have evolved from animals' nature instincts to escape predators. While acknowledging much more research is needed to be done on this insect die-off from earthquakes, USGS website says, quote, an instinctive response following a P wave seconds before a larger S wave is not a huge leap, so to speak. But what about other precursors that may occur days or weeks before an earthquake that we don't yet know about? If in fact there are precursors to a significant earthquake that we have yet to learn about, such as ground tilting, groundwater changes, electrical or magnetic field variations, indeed, it's possible that some animals could sense these signals and connect the perception with an impending earthquake, end quote. Of course, they know, they can feel it. Now, in the case of Khalil Underwood's footage, it's not possible to know at what moments the bees died and what ultimately caused their demise. American scientists remain skeptical as to whether animals can even reliably predict or sense the arrival of earthquakes. Well, that's very dismaying. I would venture to say that they already have enough evidence to conclude that animals can predict earthquakes. Now, Andy Michael, the USGS geophysicist, told National Geographic, what we're faced with is a lot of anecdotes. Animals react to so many things: being hungry, defending their territories, mating, predators. So it's hard to have a control study to get what advance warning signals. So, I'm sorry, I just noticed something concerning Yellowstone and earthquakes. We're going to look into that now. The next thing I want to get into is the very important aspect of the high-rise buildings in Los Angeles. Up to what magnitude can they stay up? And also, where are the nuclear power plants on the West Coast? And how can be affected by these major earthquakes? Because that's not good news. It may be history repeating itself, God forbid, from what we had in Japan and Fukushima. And all of you that are up there, we have a lot of viewers that are up there in California, in this area exactly. Please be careful, please be prepared, and have all the things that you need, your documents, your water, your charge, your car filled up with gas, and please be careful. Thank you. God bless you. Now, the reason I have this picture of the oarfish, the deep sea fishes that have been recently washing up on shores, we had this in the Philippines a couple of days ago, showing that, again, another animal, a sea animal, you know, the fishes of the deep sea, washing up, and this is a prediction of a major quake coming. This has been going on for thousands of years. So for the life of me, I don't understand why the scientists can't accept this as fact, because it's not a coincidence. It's just not a quirk thing that happens. They come up predicting that there's going to be a major quake, so they can feel something. Is it gases? Is it electromagnetic changes? Is it the tremors that somehow make them lose their orientation or causes them to come up? And we also had a deep sea, an oarfish washing up lately on the California coast. So what is going on? So it's not just the Philippines, it's also, we had one in, remember, the picture of this blonde woman holding it with a group of other people. So it's not just the Philippines or Indonesia or Asia that has these oarfish. They washed up in California too recently. So there are animals that are able to detect and perhaps even predict major earthquakes. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.